Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Tuesday, May the 26th. The year's 2020. Let's talk trading. Yesterday, we talked about serious trading. Today, we're going to talk about trading for minimum wage. Now, I want you traders to all understand one thing. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine. Trading is extremely risky. You can lose all of your money. If you need trading, investment, or financial advice, seek the advice of an accredited financial professional. And I have Walmal on the line. Walmal, do you trade for minimum wage?
Well, sometimes it seems that way. Do I need to trade for minimum wage? No, but sometimes I spend more time looking at this stuff than I probably should.
Well, the thing is, it's, you know, if you're going to sit in front of the screen, let's say for 4 hours, and you know, minimum wage, I guess, depending on where you are, is anywhere from $7 an hour to $15. So let's just say $10, round it off. So you're going to make $40 in 10 hours. Well, I'm saying you're going to make $40 in 4 hours. That's basically $10 an hour. So how are you going to do that? Are you going to trade $10 a pip, $1 a pip? I mean, you have to think about that, because the more pips you need, the harder it gets. And you might wind up making,
right.
and you might wind up making less than the bag boy at the grocery store.
Now, part of it is, you know, you're exactly right. You know, it's the type of thing where, depending on how many hours you're putting in, and putting hours in is not necessarily a bad thing, but where are you in your trading journey? You know, and what that comes down to is how much of it is of you sitting in front of the screen is it educational, and how much of it is actually trading. Both of them have to be counted, because, you know, they're both time that you're not going off and doing something else with your life, something else that could be profitable, or something else that could be used, you know. And when I say profitable, it's not necessarily even making money. Profitable is also having time of rest and relaxation, having time with your family, or whatever else you go and enjoy doing. That's all profitable for your life. But if you are only sitting in front of the trading screen all the time, well, that trade-off may not be the best thing.
That's for sure, because, you know, once again, you got to decide, you know, are you really in this game for to make real money, or serious money, as we talked about yesterday, or are you just almost trading for minimum wage? I mean, there's nothing wrong with trading for minimum wage, but you have to have an honest evaluation of self, because if you're not willing to, say, trade at $10 a pip, or even $1 a pip, I mean, obviously you're not even thinking about minimum wage. And, you know, having that Ferrari in the parking lot, that's not going to happen either.
Yeah. And the thing is, you know, in the beginning, when you're first learning to trade, you know, and I think that's something to keep in mind when you're first trading. Well, you know, unless you're something spectacular and unlike everybody else, you're not making money. So maybe your first goal is to trade for minimum wage. Maybe your first goal is to get from negative numbers to zero, and then your second is to get from zero to making minimum wage, and then from minimum wage to whatever you need if you want to become a full-time trader, whatever that, you know, that standard of living that needs to be reached.
Agreed.
You know, and it's, you know, and those are good milestones, I think, to put down, you know, and put them into your trading plan. I know when I first wrote my trading plan, the first thing I did was I wrote down, okay, I know I'm not going to win in the beginning. I'm not going to go and have a profitable account. And you know what? I've admitted this, you know, elsewhere and to other folks. You know, I blew an account. It wasn't a big account, but I blew it. And you know what I did? I blew a second account. You know, both those accounts were probably $500 or something like that. You know, and that was, and I think actually one was 500 and one was 1,000. But that was part of the experience. That was $1,500 worth of learning I did in actual hard cash. But in addition to that, I can't tell you how many countless hours I sat in front of the screen. I mean, my wife will go and tell you that there were times where I was sitting in front of that screen 12 to 18 hours a day, just, and then on Saturday looking again, just going over charts, looking at things, seeing patterns. I'm trying to understand everything that's going on. That's part of the learning curve, and you're certainly making minimum wage or less. So your first goal in your trading plan, get from that negative number to where, every day you're coming in, and at the end of the day, you're profitable by maybe just a little bit. Well, once you've reached that, then isn't the next step to go and set it so that you're now making minimum wage? So if you're sitting in front of your computer, you're making $40 a day. You know what? That's pretty good, And then your next step after that is, what are your aspirations? You need to go and set up a plan. Am I trying to go and make, $30,000 a year? Am I trying to make $60,000, $80,000, $100,000? Do I want to put a Lamborghini in the garage? Those are all things that, you have to set that up. And then, part of this, and it's kind of a little bit outside our conversation today, but part of it, when you set these goals, is you need to also put realistic time frames to get to those different steps.
Exactly.
Because TRO had made a comment to me the other day, and he had, and I said, there are some days where I've been down bad. I mean, it was one day sometime this spring where I was down 50, 55 pips, and he had made the comment that, the reason why you're successful is because you fight and you fight back. Do you have that as part of your mentality, to be willing to go and fight back? And fighting back is not necessarily a revenge trade. Fighting back is getting back to your trading plan. Fighting back is knowing what your goals are. And fighting back is knowing what you need to do in order to get from that negative position to where you need to be. And if you do that, and more times than not, you're no longer going to be working for minimum wage. And it's funny because TR was teasing me last week at one point in time because there was a point where I was down 15, 20 pips on the day or something like that, and he was teasing me, basically saying, you're not working for minimum wage, you're working for negative minimum wage. Well, that can happen, but are you willing to fight? Are you willing to learn? Are you willing to put the time in, and then turn it around so that you're no longer working for minimum wage, you're working for, real, as he likes to go and say, real steak dinners.
Yeah. And the thing is, do you have your money management and risk management in place? And, if you don't have that stop loss in place and you're losing more than you're willing to lose per trade, then it's not working for you. Because, in fact, we were talking before the video, and Walmal had to take a 10-pip loss on a trade?
Yes, sir. I took a 10.9, so 11 pip loss, really. So now I'm up for the day right now, 25.5 pips. But, you had to come back from that. Fight it. You got to go and fight. You got to be willing to go and say, that was, that 10 or 11 pips, that was what I was willing to go and lose on that trade. Does it make me happy when I take that loss? Of course not. No, it doesn't make you happy. But at the same time, if you got proper risk management in place, what happens is you can shrug it off. You may be angry. I get mad. I'm a very competitive person, so I get very, very mad when that happens, and I have to go and say, I'm going to take this back. But I'm not going to revenge it. I'm still going to sit on my hands, wait for that trade setup to occur. And when that trade setup occurs, I'm going to go and take it. I'm not going to hesitate on taking it. I'm going to take it. Sometimes it's hard taking it because you just came off a loss.
Yeah.
And that's what allows you to make more.
Yeah. And, once again, that's part of the brain management. Because when you're in that position, when you lose, it's like you got to... just stick with your plan, because if you allow, a FOMO or a ROMO or a ROGO to get a hold of you, then you're pretty much done. You're toast. You're going to make mistake after mistake.
Yeah, because things that should not be in your mind, things that, really you don't need to be fighting, are going to be sitting right there on top, and you're going to You're going to start trying to adjust things. Oh, you know what? If I just go and move my stop loss, I won't be, I'm not going to get stopped out here. Or, you know what? If I just go and jump into this trade a little early, I can make up an extra pip or two. And I'm down 10 pips, and I need to make up that extra pip or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to wait for I know this trade's going to set up, so I'm going to jump in now a little bit early. And the next thing you know, you now got 2 big losses on your hands. That's what happens, and it plays with you. It's all psychology, and it plays with you and plays with your mind, and then you have compounding problems.
Yeah, because we've been trading the dollar yen. I'm not sorry, we've been trading the pound dollar. I did have a dollar yen trade because I just saw something, and I just jumped in and just let it ride for a while. But the pound has shot up. I mean, what's the range here? It's just something crazy today.
The daily range is 175.
Right. And in fact, I mean, I think we took out some missed pivots along the line here. But it's just crazy in the sense that, the whole day, as you can see how many pairs are over 100. We got 189 on the pound right now. And then if we bring up the dragon, you can see here there was a chance to go short taking a Walmal trade at the 123.60. The dragon, you see there's a 3-ball, and it just, it started out negative, so you just go ahead, put your 20 pip stop loss in, and then you just ride it. So right now, you probably, on that dragon trade, you'd probably be up, maybe 15 pips or so. And so if you were trading $10 a pip, that's $150. Now, the question is, yeah, but that's just that 1 hour. There's these other hours here too, and there was a couple where there wasn't much movement. But the point is that, when you're trading, part of trading is knowing when to trade, and I don't mean looking at the chart. I mean looking at the clock. There's certain hours, have more volatility than others, and that's when you want to trade, especially if you're a scalper day trader. If you're a swing trader, that doesn't matter. You're more looking to get in at a certain level. But as scalpers, day traders, we're looking for those opportunities where we can, make a handful of pips, smash and grab, and be done with it.
Yeah, and that's why also, if people go look back at my trading plan that got put out on the Crescent site, you'll see that, my trading hours are from London time, 7 a.m. London time, until about 3 o'clock London time. Because why? That's when you look at the charts and you look at statistics, that's when the pound moves best. So that's why those are my hours. And I'll take some trades after 3 o'clock, London time. Right now it's 4:30 London time, but that's not necessarily the best time to trade. And so if you know that, go in knowing that you know what, I got to keep my stops tight, because it's not going to move. So, but not move as well.
That's for sure. And the other thing, traders, is, trading does not have to be complicated. You don't have to have a lot of stuff on the screen. I show you all these different methods. In fact, I tease with Walmal saying, I got so many indicators I've written, they don't even all fit on MT4. They literally don't fit. But the thing is, when I trade, I might just use 1 or 2 or 3. I mean, some of my trading screens, are pretty sparse, like this one. And you might send it, but you got all this stuff over here. Well, this is just a visual. Out of the corner of my eye, I can see everything's red. So what's that tell me? Well, if I'm short, I might want to stick in a trade. If I'm thinking about long, I better sit on my hands.
Right. And that just comes down to just having stuff available for yourself to go and help you, and especially having stuff on the right-hand side of the screen that's just showing you statistically, this is what has happened in the past. Doesn't mean that's what's going to happen now, but it means that statistically, if I follow that, I should be good.
Yeah, and you know what? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about up. So traders, you just have to decide if you're trading for minimum wage. Hey, that's okay. We're not trying to put anybody down. If you're trading, you're trading. You're a fellow trader. But don't try to trade for a Ferrari if you're using zero point zero 0.01 pip. Because remember, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. And if this is your first time here, click subscribe, click like, and click the bell. RumpledOne out.